Patriot groups or Christian patriot groups are what we all used to call militias back in the 1990s. They are a group that they are a movement really that is unified mainly by a conspiracy theory, the idea that the government is secretly plotting to impose martial law, to take Americans' guns away from them, to throw anyone who resists into concentration camps that have been built by FEMA secretly, and ultimately to force the United States into a kind of socialistic one-world government, and the so-called New World Order.
By some of the numbers.
Coming across the military vehicles here in West Eugene, just off of River Road. We have noticed these vehicles for at least, 4 or 5 days. We've seen 2 or 3 shipments come through. Tanks came through earlier in the week. As you can see, a wide range going from medic vehicles to Humvees to obviously armed vehicles. Kind of a little eerie. Definitely odd to see here in Eugene, Oregon.
The U.S. Army has built a fake city in Virginia for what they say is to prepare their troops to occupy foreign countries.
Think about the transition that we're going to go through here is to transition from an army of execution, doing what we've got to do, to an army of preparation to be ready for what comes next. That's where the importance of this facility really comes in.
But what's striking is this 300-acre fake city looks more like your average American town. The fact that the subway carriages even carry the same logo as they do in Washington, D.C. This could suggest that the site was built to double both as a foreign city and a mock domestic town. The site also includes what they're calling a mosque, but it looks eerily familiar to a Christian church. So they're saying this is for foreign occupation. Please, come on. They are training for martial law, civil unrest.
Immigration officers plan to use their smartphones to take high-res photos of license plates, then save them in a new government database. ICE saying it will help find and track criminals, but critics say it goes too far.
The cameras simply photograph the vehicle plate, turn that image into data that can be stored indefinitely, according to the ACLU, who says the Homeland Security program is being developed in secret.
It creates sort of a comprehensive database of where people go, what they do, and creates a net that no matter how innocent you are, you can't escape having your movements permanently monitored and recorded.
There's been a string of bizarre deaths in the globe's financial circles. In the past few weeks, 5 high-profile bankers have died, all from apparent suicides. Tessa Arcilia investigates.
Their untimely deaths grabbed headlines, 3 of which happened within a week. Be it the big investment banks they worked for, the senior positions they held, the public nature of their deaths, or all 3, once again it raised questions about an industry largely blamed for bringing the global economy to its knees in the 2008 financial crisis.
Well, if you pledge allegiance to the flag, make sure not to wear it on your shirt at one California high school. A decision from the Ninth Circuit upholds a high school's decision to ban students from wearing American flag T-shirts on Cinco de Mayo. School officials told students not to wear the shirts due to racial tensions.
Well, maybe call it a sign of the times. A lot of people are not prepared for this. There are some possible eyes in the sky that have neighbors in Laverne concerned and reaching out to police.
A piece of remote-controlled aerial equipment, also called a drone. It's been spotted circling one city neighborhood. News Channel 5's Emily Luxon is in our newsroom. Emily, do we know what it was doing and why it was there?
Well, that's exactly what police are working to find out. And they say actually this is uncharted territory because they've never even received a complaint like this. Meanwhile, some residents are asking for a change in city policy that they say will help protect their privacy.
It was the last thing I expected at the bus stop yesterday.
In a normally quiet Laverne neighborhood, the sighting of an unknown flying object is creating some buzz.
And it's going around and stopping and going to another house and stopping. And I'm like, what is that thing?
Carolyn Hickerson spotted what she describes as a drone in her Woodland Hills neighborhood Thursday.
Bibles in hotel rooms, that's standard practice in the U.S., but it wouldn't be anymore if one left-wing radical atheist group has their way. The Freedom From Religion Foundation received a complaint about what they call, quote, religious propaganda on state property at Iowa State University's Memorial Union Hotel. They then lobbied the director of the union until he agreed to remove all the Bibles from his rooms effective March the 1st.
Safety is the reason behind a new policy at Tennessee State University. News Channel 5's Andrea Klein-Thomas sat down with administrators. She joins us live from the university with more on how it works. Andrea.
Well, Vicki, many companies, just like our own, require every employee to have a photo ID. Well, that's no different here at TSU, but administrators say that the photo ID may keep students and staff safe.
So I believe our campus safety, it can always be better, but I believe that it's gotten a lot better since my freshman year.
It's already difficult for students to get around campus without identification. A new policy has students and staff lining the halls at the campus police department. Each one is required to get new identification. That's starting on March 1st.
One of the world's giant retailers, the British supermarket chain Tesco, is to kick off facial recognition technology.
Say it's Thursday morning, I walk into a shop, in it all the usual stuff, plus a special camera that scans my face. It recognises that I'm female and aged between 30 and 45.
If you think that's something out of a futuristic movie, think again. It's what's happening now.
Supreme Court issued a ruling that will allow police to search a home without a warrant when two occupants disagree about allowing the cops inside. And the resident who refused access is then arrested. They also ruled an occupant may not object to a search when he or she is not at home.
Of Connecticut, where there are reports that tens of thousands of gun owners are refusing to register their firearms under a new law in what some are now calling a massive act of civil disobedience. Trace Gallagher has that story. Trace?
And in fact, Megan, we talked to a Connecticut lawmaker tonight who said he's never seen a law willfully disobeyed like this. Remember, this law bans assault weapons from being sold in Connecticut. Connecticut now has hundreds of thousands, potentially, of brand new criminals because not registering is a felony.
A group has unveiled designs for a 7-foot-tall statue of Satan that it wants at the Oklahoma State Capitol. The New York-based Satanic Temple says if Oklahoma can put a Ten Commandments statue on the Capitol grounds, they should be able to put their statue on the grounds as well. KOCO's Rob Hughes is live at the State House to show us what this statue looks like. Good morning, Rob.
Katie, good morning. And that statue they want put right next to the Ten Commandments here at the state capitol.
The statue will be a symbol of Satan as a goat. It's designed for children to sit on it, take pictures with it, and the group wants it to go right here outside the state capitol, right next to the Ten Commandments monument.
When the news now, prosecutors are painting a sadistic picture of an alleged teen killer. They say 17-year-old Jose Reyes convinced a friend to kidnap and brutally murder a teenage girl in order to help him sell his soul to the devil.
Growing tensions around the world, from the Middle East, where Iran could shift the balance of power with nuclear weapons, to Asia, where China is growing more nationalistic by the day and bullying its neighbors. 2014 seems to be starting off with a level of global disorder we really haven't seen in years.
Escalating crisis overseas, one that some fear could pull in the United States. There are fast-moving and mysterious developments on the ground in Ukraine.
A blatant show of force by Russia, fueling fears they plan to invade, as Ukraine accuses Russia of bringing in thousands of troops. Crimea did not support the uprising in the capital, Kiev, and many here would like to see it become part of Russia.
Book called Perfect Ending: Why Your Eternal Future Matters Today. In the book, which is out tomorrow, Pastor Robert Jeffress says President Obama's policies have some interaction with the Bible. With us now is the pastor. All right, the first issue is Obamacare. How does that have biblical implications?
What I'm saying in the book, Bill, is that there's going to be a future world dictator before Christ returns who's going to usurp people's personal feelings, rights. He's not only going to do that, wage war against God's people. He's going to change God's laws, and he's going to do it without any opposition. And my question was, how is he going to be able to pull that off? And my thesis is people will have been conditioned long before the Antichrist comes to accept governmental overreach. And that's what you're seeing with President Obama.
Okay. Now, for
right
those
now.
who don't know the Bible, this is based on what? Walk us through how you reached that conclusion that there's going to be a powerful leader, not necessarily in the United States, right?
That's right.
It could be anyone.
Right.
Who's then going to kind of galvanize the world in warfare against religious people.
There is going to be a world dictator. Daniel chapter 7 in the Old Testament talks about it. Revelation chapter 13 in the Bible talks about it as well. And as you pointed out, Bill, he's not only going to usurp people's personal freedoms, he's going to wage war against God's own people. He's going to seek to change God's moral law.